breaking news, and this comes mostly from CBS Sports, and then everybody else kind of just a lot of them just reported what he wrote. But essentially, what we learned just a few hours ago is that Michigan is not going to enter a negotiated resolution with the NCAA over the alleged sign stealing. And here is why they are saying that they are not going to do that. Because they believe, and this was part of the 137-page response, so not quite as many as the manifesto. It's rookie numbers. It's rookie numbers compared to the manifesto, but a pretty solid effort. But essentially in this response, they said a couple of things, which I'm going to highlight, that I thought were interesting. That the sign sealing system offered minimal relevance to competition, as we saw, after Connor Stallions was no longer part of the organization. Michigan kept winning. After everybody went from using signs to doing check with me with their quarterback and go running to the sidelines every couple of plays, let's do a check with me, and we'll give you the next set of a couple of plays for the quarterback. That's what they were all doing, and Michigan still went undefeated. So that's the backup of how it offered minimal relevance, because when the person was eliminated from the situation, Michigan continued to win and beat everybody. Michigan believes that many of the 11 allegations are, quote, without merit or credible evidence. The tipster came from within, which was something that was mentioned in the article. Did not mention names, but we're going to mention a few that we believe may be one of the people. Alex Yude, who was fired for being a pedophile, and Matt Dudek, who was left the program 3 years prior to. So he was gone in April of 2021 as the recruiting coordinator. So I'm dubious on how much Matt Dudek knows specifically about what happened in 22 and 23 when he left the program in April 21. And finally, Michigan saying no proof that any coaches were aware of, much less participated in the scheme. So what happens next? Well, next there's going to be a hearing between the Division I Committee on Infractions. There will be a hearing which will determine punishment. It will kind of hear out the sides and determine what's next for punishment. But before that hearing happens, Michigan is requesting a pre-hearing conference. So they want to have a pre-hearing conference because they want to talk about the person that's the main or the tipster or tipsters. We believe they're probably two, but like to talk through. Well, let's see how credible these people are, and let's go through what happened and go from there. So that's kind of just a couple of the key points, and then what we are anticipating to happen next. But TJ, what we don't know yet is if this thing is headed to court. All we know is that it's headed to a hearing, and that they're looking to have a kind of a conference before the hearing. That's all we know right now.
If I was a betting man, this is about to go to court, and it's about to go. And I know that's an assumption, right? But Michigan's not backing down. The NCAA has way too much invested to tarnish their image, even though it's tarnished. I think we're looking at things that are going to take years here before they can get resolved. I fully anticipate a true court battle, and it's going to get real interesting real quick. So we don't have the date yet on the hearing, right, John?
I don't have it.
It might not be out yet. So I mean, if anyone does have it, let us know in the comments. But at the same time, I mean, this is about to get drawn out. The Buckeyes are going to keep pushing the bullshit hammer narrative. But here's the reality: Michigan's not going to war like this unless they're extremely confident. I told you guys since September, what I heard personally was a quiet confidence out of Michigan. Well, here we are. I mean, the reality is Michigan feels that they're in the right. They feel like they're in a position where the things that the NCAA is presenting to them is unfounded, unprecedented, and it doesn't meet the punishment, whatever they proposed, or even what they're allegating, does not meet the reality of the situation. And I'm excited personally, and I know I'm not the only one here. I am excited to see Michigan show some damn teeth and say, back the fuck off, or we're gonna go to war, bro. It just is what it is. And like we all know, Michigan has the capability to go to war with anybody. There's not a school. There's not a school. There's not a school that Michigan can't go to war with. It, like in terms of like resources and things of that nature. NCAA doesn't have a chance. I mean, like, now what I mean doesn't have a chance. This is what I mean by this. The NCAA has backed down to far lesser schools. Michigan has the full capability. We've all been waiting for Michigan to unleash their war chest, and it appears to me that Michigan is willing to strategically play this, which they are, which is why they asked for the extension, why they're drawing this out, and we all know how. Here's what's very interesting to me too, John. Nobody knew a thing until today. And what I mean by that is Michigan is moving so strategically, so well organized, so well structured. And we've known this for a little while now. We've noticed a change in approach lately. In my opinion, Michigan is extremely deadly in terms of their unified approach, which we have also discussed on the show, that has kind of occurred within the year, this unified approach from the regents all the way down to the athletic department. I'm extremely optimistic about this. And in my opinion, this shows another indication of a healthy university who is literally everyone is rowing in the same direction. And it's nice to see. And I'm excited to see what happens here. It should be a fun show, John.
Yeah, it should be. Get your popcorn ready, as Lane Kiffin likes to say, because this thing it could heat up really quick.
What's crazy is, this is going to sound crazy, it's just getting started. Like, as much as what we just dealt with the last couple of years, this is going to drag out even years. We're talking years. And I'm here for it, man. I'm excited about it. F the NCAA, F the Buckeyes, bro. You know, their hopes and dreams. You know how many frustrated Buckeyes and Spartans there are, especially if you go to the Red Cedar message board where they got like a freaking literally the craziest message thread you've ever seen in your life in terms of pages over this. Yeah, it's hilarious to me, and I'm curious what they're posting, but and we actually could share that because it's actually it's not behind a paywall, but one day we will, maybe we'll do a video on it, but and just laugh, but yeah, I mean I'm just excited for Michigan's unified approach here and taking the NCAA on. I'm very curious to know what is the law firm that we know who they hired previously, which was the one out of DC. It was a very prestigious law firm. I wonder if they brought them back or what they're going to do here. So
well,
some details we still didn't know.
Adam Lamparello has offered his services.
Oh, did he?
To the University of Michigan. So hey, Michigan, if somebody from Michigan's out there watching, you've got somebody who's ready to go to bat here. So there you have it. Maybe deals being done right here in the chat. But I will say this. Something that I really thought was interesting was that they found a handwritten note on Connor Stallion's desk, and it was a reference to the Ohio State game plan for 2023, and what it said was focusing on them all year, watching every TV copy and sky cam. So the university is saying that is saying that the sign stealing system, in large part came from, they said, permissibly done with TV and other publicly available footage, an enormous amount of the signal decoding. So you are within your rights to watch TV,
right?
Which it was reported that Connor Stallions in the documentary that he was doing that in 19 and 20. All he was doing was watching the film, watching the all 22, watching TV, and also, as he mentioned, Skycam. So if that was the vast extent of this, and the Connor's mom going to a game and taking some iPhone footage wasn't,
she's just a football fan, man. She just
then
like football. What's the matter with that?
know,
Are they anti-American? All of us? Is the NCAA anti-American? That's what I want to know. What's wrong with his mom going to a football game? Not wrong with that at all. They hate
you know,
Americans. Is that what it is? I think that's what it is.
that might be it. That might be it.
Yeah. But I think GT made an interesting point in the comments. Like,
Yeah.
so there is speculation that the NCAA won't exist in a few years because in terms of the budget, in terms of the growth and expansion of the NCAA, or I'm sorry, in terms of the college football, the thought that the Big Ten and the SEC might break off and create their own league. So it is interesting that maybe there's a play here where Michigan's just going to draw this out years over years over years, and eventually this NCAA really won't exist.